All right, good morning. Welcome back to Uriel's Lantern. We're out here on our hike as per usual. Going to talk about some law. Going to talk about some radiant prayers and some radiant pathway. That's the plan for today. Going to get a bunch of this stuff uploaded. And we'll see, there's not a big audience now, but I imagine once people see that this thing works, there's going to be a lot of people that want to know, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? We want the same things. We want money. We want property. We want security. We want all these things. Yeah, no. We're all going to want it. You can all have it. I mean, I think there's some special things about me. And I think there's some special things about you. And you got to go through the process. Go through the process of getting aligned. And you gotta do the process of clearing out your shadow, man. Your shadow work. That's where all the money is. And you gotta turn and face your demons. Turn and face your goblins. Because the more that you do this, and the bigger the change you try to bring in, the bigger those goblins are gonna be. So you either gotta start small and be like, universe, I want a candy bar. I bet the universe can bring you a candy bar without too much work. But, if you want to change your existence entirely, or change all of existence entirely, you got to turn into the man or woman that can do that. And that's going to be a lot of work. And you're going to get a lot of demons and goblins popping up. Things you got to fight and release. The good Lord will show you how to do it. It just isn't going to be, it's not going to be fun. It'll be fun later. But what you got to go through is usually pretty painful. Okay, well, now I like to start my day off with a radiant prayer. And today's no different. Except for today's Christmas. So presumably, this is when Jesus was born. I'm entirely certain that's true, but at least in theory, I'm happy to go celebrate the birth of our King. That sounds pretty good. So, radiant prayer. The way that we do this, we don't just say, hey, sky vending machine, hand me stuff. That is not what this prayer is. That can be a different prayer. That's not what a radiant prayer is. A radiant prayer where we go talking to God. And, it's been a long time since you've seen God. And God calls you up and says, hey, bro, how you doing? And this is what we say. Because this isn't just like, oh, I'm fine, dude. No. This is like your one moment of the day. Kind of acknowledge your feels. Acknowledge your stresses. Talk about your life. And, hand them off. Hand them off to God. The divine loves to take the burdens that were never ours to take. They delight in that. Okay, so, hey God, I gotta tell you, I am feeling a touch of anxiety, but mostly relief. I did a nice long radiant prayer and a nice long radiant pathway yesterday, and I was able to get to the post office to mail out the letters, let out my doom. And I gotta say, it feels pretty good to have that off my chest. I bet it does not feel as good to be the recipient of that. That is a Christmas gift I imagine some will try to avoid. I'm thinking of the Attorney General in particular, David Sunday. I sent him a big mailing and it got sent back to me. Oh, we couldn't find him. Yeah, you couldn't find me, huh? Or you couldn't deliver it? Right. Yeah. So that's like the kind of thing that gives me hope and faith that they know that they're screwed, right? Because like I've watched courts when you get like a dumb claim, they'll accept it and then dismiss it in the same freaking email. So you put like 100 hours of work into writing this claim, and they give you a 3-minute email, like just dismissing your action. But when they run away and when they do obstruction, that's not a sign that like you're on the wrong path. That's a sign that you're over the target, because they're running. That's not you being a dumbass. That's them saying, oh shit. So, my good friend, we're going to see if he accepts this package or not. But it's sent his way. It details his crimes as well as the crimes of a lot of other people. Okay, so, I feel a little anxious. You know, I'm threatening a lot of people with accusations of treason. These are powerful people. I don't know that they are spiritually powerful people. I guess a couple may be. I get the sense that there's some black magic here. You know, that's part of the reason why I called everything Black Collar Cartel, is that I don't think this is just like normal tomfoolery. I think somebody's doing dark magic on that other side, and they're not going to like this. This is going to be like a forced exorcism. This might actually make them question all their beliefs up till now. So, but I'm feeling good. First, Gaia looks epically gorgeous today. I'm over here by the Susquehanna River, on one of the rail trails here. And this is like one of my favorite sections because I'm higher up, so I can see the whole thing. Looks majestic. Gaia is gorgeous. Good day to be alive. A little chilly. My hand's a little cold, but didn't want to wear gloves so I could stop this thing. But I'm feeling grateful. Feeling alive. Got that cold wind in my nose and in my mouth. That feels good. So I feel a sense of relief, really. I put this thing, it's like 308 pages. So first, it was 209 pages. So for the numerology fans, that to me is a 911. Sort of my special number, my life number. So when it hit that, I was like, oh, I guess I'm done. But then I needed to go add some like supporting material, and it came out to 99 pages. And I'm like, oh, that feels like a power number to me. I didn't like plan it. I was just grabbing the things that I thought would be good to showcase. A lot of it being support orders that aren't lawful. And the entirety is really just showing off the fact that they kept interacting with me. So early on, when they took my kids, I sent them my terms, and I said, look, it's going to cost you this much money per minute per kid if you hold them, and I'm going to hold that to every single participant. And I was deliberately giving them shitty terms. I was deliberately doing something that would dissuade them from their course of action. And then they put in something like 40 orders afterwards. And I had sent in my notice of fee and liability schedule. I did it, not all of them, but a bunch of them, with freaking registered mail. It cost me like $1,000. But I sent it that way. They received it that way. And then I recorded it that way. So in the actual letter, you know, when, I don't know who I saw do this, but I went to the post office. I got all the registered mail slips, brought them home, added it to my certificate of service, and literally put the number for the registered mail on the certificate of service. So I didn't just say, I sent this by registered mail. I said, I sent this by registered mail. Here's your particular number. They all had green cards, which are what gets returned to you. I have those stored in a couple different messy spots, but I got them. So I told them it's going to be expensive, and I can tell you, it's expensive. I put it in the trillions of dollars because they've held my kids a long time. And then they've been doing RICO, racketeering, so I tripled it for that. That's like standard practice. And then they've like ignored all my notices about this. So I put in a 3X for putative, which isn't even that big of an X. And the whole thing came out to something like 15 trillion. And I had sent them previously that their bill was like 84 billion. And then my next trick, I sent it to the Treasury, and I said, look, if you guys help me execute all this, you can have 25%, up to 5 trillion. We're going to see what they do. I don't know that they're just going to come back and say, oh yeah, bro, here we go. But it's 5 trillion. And it would also help like end a pretty corrupt system. So I don't have too much faith. Well, I have tons of faith in the Lord. I don't have tons of faith in the current government of the United States of America. But this is my season of miracles, so we're going to see what happens. But the whole thing's basically a mechanics lead. You know, caused me damage. Here's what it is. You did it willfully, wrongfully, wickedly. You're a wrongdoer. And so it's going to stick to you personally, and even bankruptcy won't clear this. So that's what I did, God. I'm going after him. I'm using divine authority. I hope you don't mind. But in Luke, they talk about trampling on your scorpions, the vipers, the scorpions, your foes, the enemy. You know, these guys, they messed with me, so I have divine authority. These guys, they messed with me. I didn't seek them out. I was just moving along my own life, and they messed with me. As soon as they messed with me, they consented. That's a form of consent. You know, if I steal something from you, I am consenting to the obligations and the liability the second that I steal. That's a form of consent. And then I gave them notice, and they ignored it. That's silence, that's acquiescence. You know, if you tell somebody you did this and you damaged me, you do it under affidavit, and you say, this is a harm you caused, bro, and they don't respond, that's truth in law. You're going to have a much shorter deliberation in court because they've already acquiesced to everything. I tried to avoid it before court. We're not here to battle anything. They admitted every single piece of this with their silence. They accepted my story in full, which is good because I just like told my story as truthfully and as faithfully as I could. It's like 5 years of events, so it's hard to do that the right way, but I did it, did the best I could, was as honest as I could be. That's what I sent out, and it felt good. It was, you know, I've been at different post offices, and sometimes it's like slow and brutal. I think I had 40 packages with me, and the woman I was working with, bling, gunk, bling, gunk, bling, gunk, you know, just fast. I was there maybe 10 minutes. I went right up to the counter, like the universe was waiting for this package. It was awesome. Got it out, felt relief. Still feel relief. Anxious, but relief. So, that's what I was up to today, God. Just want you to know that. I love you. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for being by my side, helping me feel worthy, guiding me through this process, taking these burdens. And thank you for the jackpot of miracles Miracle upon miracle that's coming my way. I feel so blessed. Thanks, guys.